Winfred, welcome.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Thank
Sid,
you.
I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that your schedule will allow you to come and spend a little time with me. It's been a while since I've seen you and had a chance to visit with you, but I've been reading about you, and I understand that you still do some interesting things. Winfred, I have since we haven't talked for a while, I have a number of things that I want to talk about with you. First of all, I want to start off by talking a bit about your prison life. And I want to talk about that because I think that your time in prison and how you used it then and how you're using it now can be an inspiration to a lot of people out there. So let's begin by saying that I am correct when I said you spent almost a quarter century in prison. Is that right?
No.
No.
I spent 25 years, 6 months, and 10 days, so it's over a quarter of a century.
I see. Well, right at the top, why were you in prison?
I was in prison because I was a bank robber. I violated the rules and I robbed banks. I robbed a lot of banks across the country, and as a result of that, I spent a lot of time in prison.
So you didn't kill anybody, anything like that?
Didn't kill anybody, didn't hurt anybody, didn't rape anybody, or physically or other than mentally. Somebody looking at the other end of the gun is, I guess, damaging in and of itself. But no, physically I didn't hurt anybody in any way.
How many banks did you rob?
I was convicted of 3.
I see. Well, now, tell me, when you were arrested in prison, I believe I remember reading, or maybe you said that you were able to. You were in several very secure prisons, maximum security,
Yes,
and you escaped.
3 times.
Now, talk about that a little bit. How in the world? How in the world does someone escape not one, but 3 times from maximum security?
Well, like I said, my escapes were not all from maximum security prisons. My escapes, I was a maximum security prisoner. But I was able to get out to Cook County Jail. I escaped from.
Cook County Jail,
And Chicago.
That has
yes.
a reputation of being a pretty tough jail.
It is, and it's not escape-proof, obviously, but it's pretty secure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I escaped out of there. I escaped out of one of those really high-powered holding tanks or what have you. So it's one of those things. I think if a man wants to be free, he'll be free. You'll find a way to be free.
Were you ever in prison in Minnesota?
Yes, they brought me to Minnesota in '83 to when they built Oak Park Heights. And as you know, Oak Park Heights is this super maximum security prison here. It's basically built underground. And they brought several of us here, federal prison. I was a federal prisoner. And they brought us here to kind of test their security to see if it was escape-proof. It is.
It is escape.
I tried every way I could. I couldn't see it.
But now you found some way out of that prison, didn't you?
Yeah, I just made them transfer me back, and and ended up back at Marion. But I think the real thing with me is that after all of those years of escaping from prison and doing it, it's I was in prison. I was due to never be released from prison, ever. I was there.
How much time were you given?
I had 2 20s and a 19, which is 59 years running wild, which means that you do 20, then you do the 19. And it was what I was scheduled to do.
Yeah. Well, tell me, what happened to your immediate family while you were in there? Would you stay in touch with them when you finally got out? Were they still around? Talk about that a moment.
It's really a ticklish point with me, because when I was in prison, my mother, I'm from a large family, a really large family, one of those really large Southern families, if you will, at that. Really religious and all that. My mother, my aunts, my immediate family, brothers and sisters stuck with me 100%. My wife stuck with me for the first 15 years of my incarceration. She stuck with me, visited every week, the whole bit. Wherever I was transferred to, she was there and bringing the kids. Upon my release from prison is when the real hardships began, because it's that adapting, that readapting to family. People that you knew previously have 25 years, 6 months, and 10 days of memories that you aren't a part of. you know, whether they're your children, your wife, your mom, or whomever. The other thing is like my mother only lived to see me come home. And I'll tell you that story some other time, but I saw my mother twice after my release from prison. And that's the only thing she said that she lived for. I just wanted to see you free. And she passed on, you know, but that was it.
Well, now tell me this. You were first convicted, you were first given a 20-year sentence.
Yes.
This was for the first time.
Yes.
And how much of that time did you do?
Well, I did maybe a year and I escaped.
Oh, I see. You escaped. And then you...
I picked up another 20 and a 19.
Oh.
You know, and I escaped again. You know, so it was just, so in total to begin, I did about 18 months total doing these in prison time. Then I escaped, you know. But from 1975, March 18th until September 2008, I was incarcerated, probably in the worst prisons this country has to offer.